Hey guys, this is Al again. I'm back at the shop. This time, while the kid works on the Bentley, I'm going to get working on this old Jag. So let me just turn the camera around and I'll show you this. Alright guys, so you're in the far back part of my shop. This is really the far back corner. And this is my 1994 Jaguar XJS 2+2 convertible, and it's the old 6-litre engine. Actually a pretty nice car, to be honest with you. Underneath all this dust is a pretty decent paint job, but I bought it, you know, in need of some work, so it needs a new soft top. Interior is not too great, it's got some miles on it. But today what we're going to be working on is, let's see if I can get my, so just, this is kind of my corner of dead cars. So these are all my dead cars that are in this corner. This is a 450 SLC 50. It's actually another nice car, but it was partially disassembled. The previous owner was a huge SLC 50 enthusiast, and he unfortunately passed away. And I bought it like this, and I just need to put it back together again. That's my 1972 Mercedes-Benz 280 CE. Anyone who knows me well enough has known that I've owned a 114 coupe since I was about 19 years old. I had one in the UK. When I left for the US, I kept the car for about 15 years and eventually broke down and gave the car away. This is a European spec fuel injected car. It's got the 185 horsepower twin cam fuel injected 6-cylinder car engine and the M110 and a 4-speed manual gearbox. It has some rust, which I think all of these cars do, but it's not horrible. There's really some rust in the rocker panels and some rust in the back part of the floor pan. That's my 1988 BMW M5. It's been sitting here and the fuel pump went out as well on this thing as well. It was running fine before that. Well, it wasn't running fine, but it was running. 928, parked it here about 5 years ago. No idea if it still runs. It did run when I parked it. Same with the M6 next to it. And yeah, that's it. Let's get back on this car. So, let me get the flashlight. So I've had to do this job before, and you can see I've already started getting into it. Basically, the long and short is that this car has two fuel pumps. They're both in the tank fuel pumps. So what I need to do is I need to pull the fuel tank back enough to be able to get the pumps out, and then I need to test the pumps and make sure which one's bad. You know, the last time this happened, I lost one pump. And I suspect that I've lost the other, or maybe the same pump, who the hell knows. In order to do that, I need to unbolt this, I guess, firewall over here that separates the rear trunk with the tank. So there's a whole bunch of bolts that need to be undone. Obviously this fuse relay needs to be taken off, and everything out the trunk needs to be removed. And then I should be able to get to the pump and at least test it. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is just test it by putting a 12-volt power source directly to the pumps and seeing if I can hear them run. If I try to run the engine, this vacuum pump starts running and starts rattling, and I can't hear anything over it. So I'm going to need to basically put a power source directly to the pump itself. Once we see how that works out, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay. All right, guys. So the rear panel's off right now. Yeah, obviously I had to remove that bracket, which had two bolts at the bottom. You can see right there. So you had to get a wrench down there, and obviously the two top ones can be easily removed with a socket. Had to remove the CD, the CD changer out of the way so I can get that rear panel out. But once I got the rear panel out, there's a couple of things that I need to make sure that I address when I fix this car. First of all, you can see the fuel tank's leaking, and it's not pretty. Right, so this is a common problem with those fuel tanks, the fuel tank sender O-ring fails and needs to be replaced. Now the unfortunate thing is again, this is something that I already replaced, but the only part that was available to me was an O-ring by URO Parts. So even though I replaced it, it's obviously, you know, leaking again. This car hasn't moved since I replaced the last fuel pump and that O-ring, so kind of sucks. It's annoying, but it is what it is. That's the fuel tank sending unit right there. Sorry, I had to scratch. If you, let me see if I can zoom in with my zoom lens. You can see that plug over there. You can see there's 4 pins on it. Each pin represents, so each 2 pins, you know, on either side represents a fuel pump. So there's 2 fuel pumps in this car, in this tank. So I'm going to have to drag the fuel tank back and then remove that sending unit, and then I can get to the pumps. But before I do that, I'm going to test the pumps first, and I'm going to see if I can get them running. That way, it helps me decide whether I should buy one pump or 2 pumps, because there's 2 of them in there. So what I went about doing here is I rigged up a cable with a couple of spade connectors and connected them to my 18-volt power tool battery. And I'm going to use this to test the fuel pump and see if I can get them running. The whole idea behind it is I want to identify if I need to buy 1 fuel pump or 2 fuel pumps. So I did rig them up. It didn't work. Both the fuel pumps were pretty much dead. So I'm going to have to basically go in and order 2 new pumps. But before I do that, I've got to pull the old pumps out, make sure I have my eyes on them, know what they look like. Hey guys, this is Al again. So I've got the tank out enough to where I can get to those little pods where the fuel pumps live. So I've already got the first fuel pump out. I'm going to need to get the second one out first, but the gas tank's full of gas and it's just nasty. My hands got burnt pretty badly fishing the first one out. So I don't want to really deal with it right now. What I'm going to do is siphon some of the gas out first, and then I'll start working on the other pod. So give me a few seconds and I'll get cracking on it. Alright guys, so that's the gasoline that's coming out of this car. So it's a small wonder that the tank, the car doesn't run. But anyway, I think there's still some more fuel in there, so I'm going to try to run it as empty as possible. And then, so I'm going to just transfer this over to a jerry can so I can dispose of it properly. And then we'll see what we have. Hey guys, so I have the fuel tank pod. This is basically what goes in the tank, and there's 2 of these in the fuel tank on a later model XJS V12. This is the 94 and 95 models. I'm not sure if the 5.3s had them. The ones that I've had to deal with, the earlier cars, definitely didn't. They had an external fuel pump, which was great. But in short, basically the fuel pump, this is the one that I replaced a few years ago. Look at the state of it right now. But the fuel pump sits inside this pod. There's a strainer at the pickup and another strainer before it goes into the engine. This is obviously nasty, and there's 2 of these in the tank. I'm not sure if they have to be put in a specific order, but I'll find out when I get the other one out. But in short, basically, the car uses 2 fuel pumps, and I think it requires 2 fuel pumps when it starts, and also when you're under full throttle condition, it'll kick off both fuel pumps. But I'm going to put this in that ultrasonic cleaner over there. We're still going to take the old fuel pump out, and be mindful that I don't get any of the electrical connectors, not that it really matters. In. But I'm going to put this in the ultrasonic cleaner and see if I can get it cleaned up a little bit, because this is just disgusting. See, there you go. So, see what happens. All I've got inside this right now is simple glue. I'm going to run this for a few minutes and see if I can get it cleaned up a little bit. And then I'll take the other one out and do the same. So when they're cleaned up, I'll give you an update. Alright, so while this is going, this is the old fuel pump out of the enclosure. You can see it's in pretty horrible shape. This is a new one. This pump is made by a company called Import Direct. I picked this up at O'Reilly Auto Parts for $52. Part number is 6190BD2020120. So the only thing I have to transfer is, you can see a spade connector on this guy. I need to move that onto the, it's got a flat connector on this, but I think I can just pull this out with a pair of pliers and just transfer it over. Apart from that, they look almost identical, and I think it'll work. I have no idea where this one's made. It's probably made in China. This one's made in the USA. Okay guys, so I have this pot, you can see it there. That's finishing up on the ultrasonic cleaner. This is the second one. And you can see the strain is just all nasty. There you go. So I'm not going to take this apart yet. I want to finish off this one so that when I put this one back together I can compare the two, and then I'll take it apart. I don't think there's anything to it, but I just want to make sure that I have my eyes on it. So, kind of see how it goes. Everything kind of looks the same, except the connectors. One's colored blue, which is the one on the back, and the one on the front is white. And they kind of okay, so the blue one, I don't think it matters which one goes in the tank where, but these two connectors are different. So wherever you put those connectors determines which pump gets engaged, right? So, but these are, aside from the connectors, these two are identical. So that's a good thing. I'm not going to be able to get done today. There's just too many issues with that tank in itself. I'll show you real quickly so that you can see what I'm. So if you can see inside, there's a bunch of hoses in there, and this one in particular, the one I'm pointing with the light at, that one, this one over here. Can you see how it's going into the back pump assembly? That hose is in such bad shape that I'm not going to be able to get it on. I've been trying to mess around with it for God knows how long, and it hasn't been working. You can see where that hose goes into a steel line over there, and there's a little Jubilee clip that holds it in. So I'm going to take that hose off. I just don't want to do it right now because my hands are starting to burn a little bit. Yeah, I'll be wearing gloves, but the gloves get torn up real quickly inside that tank. So I'm going to take that hose off and replace it with a new one, because I don't think I can do it otherwise. So that's kind of my problem right now. And you know, without being able to put that back pump on, I'm not going to be able to put the front pump on. So it's you know, we're done for today. So I'll try to come back tomorrow and see if I can get it figured out, but I think I'm done for the day. So guys, on a side note, this is pretty much why I don't wear a Rolex to the shop or anything else like that. Take a look at that. Put this in there, let's get it submerged. There you go, guys. Look at that. Alright guys, so not much progress on the XJS today. So what I found out is that the hoses that you use for the inside the tank are called submersible hoses, so they're not the same as the regular fuel hoses. I can't get any today. It's Monday, July 5th, so it's July 4th weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find a hose supplier locally in Dallas and see if they can get them. If not, then I'll order them on Amazon. It'll take a couple of days. I really want to, we've got work to do, so I really want to get access to that room so that I can start painting the cars. But in order to do that, that car has to get out of the way so that we can access that paint room, because the only way we can do it is by moving that car out of the way and then using that back door entrance to drive into the paint room. Anyway, so that's me. I'm out of here. Thanks very much, and I'll catch up with you later. Hopefully I'll be making some real progress on that XJS in the next couple of days. Thank you. Bye-bye.